Welcome to this week's Weather Studio Live. I am Annie Shuttleworth and I'm joined by...
Aidan McGiven, weather presenter, meteorologist at the Met Office, and you.
And me,
course.
yes, same job title.
Oh look, our names are coming up now. Confirmation there yes. On the strap line.
Now we know who we are. Yeah, we've got loads planned this week. We will be doing our famous quiz. We've got the leaderboard updated behind us. It will be changed up a little bit. That'll be during the second half of the show.
Very exciting.
We'll be chatting about this weekend's weather. There's a few things to keep our eyes on. And of course, we'll be updating you with the snowometer. If you've not seen the snowometer yet, it gives you the likelihood of a white Christmas. So Christmas is it 2 weeks away now?
Less than 13
Ooh.
Sleeps. Is
Yep.
it 13? Yeah, 13 sleeps.
We're feeling festive in the studio today, and we've got our Christmas decorations up.
Yeah.
We did have our Christmas party last night, didn't
We
we?
did. We had a couple of fizzy drinks.
Yes.
I'm a little bit tired after that.
Yeah.
Of course, we were all fighting, weren't we, in the team over who could be in the office today.
Yeah. We won.
We won.
Yeah.
Yes. We came out on top.
Other.
Yeah. The other Alex, the two Alexes had other things on that they came last minute. They mentioned these other things that they had to do. But
they couldn't get out of bed for. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, it's us today. This is my, I think, 5th Weather Studio Live on the trot. So yeah.
Double lucky.
Double lucky, yeah. So yeah, get your questions in. We've had a few questions already, and we've also been checking out the questions you've sent through this week in the deep dive and the 10-day trend too. So we'll be answering some of those. We had a question in on the deep dive from Karen. She was saying, she asked, is there a chance we'll see any more deep lows like Bram? Of course, we had Storm Bram on Monday, didn't we?
Yes.
It was a really unsettled start to the week, very windy, particularly across northwestern areas. We had amber warnings enforced for both wind and rain. Most west and northern parts of the UK saw disruption from Bram. And in answer to your question, Karen, it is staying unsettled. No more named storms at the moment, but we, of course, are into winter when with a very active jet stream. So
yeah, I'm going to be taking a closer look at that, the trend through next week, and the possibility, the hint, the suggestion that something might change during the week of Christmas. But it's no more than a hint at the moment, so I'll explain a bit more about that when I go up to the board. But yeah, while we're in this current pattern of Atlantic-driven weather, there's always the potential for more deep lows to turn up. Nothing particularly deep on the horizon in the immediate vicinity of the UK, but our attention this weekend is on the wet weather rather than the possibility of deep lows because of a very particular setup in which we've got long duration rainfall events. So I'm going to be focusing on that when I go up to the big screen in a mo. But yeah, through next week, always the potential for that jet stream to fire up further unsettled weather and keep us wet and windy at times. Yeah.
So Eddie Bowles has sent in a couple of questions, one of which is, do you think it will stay wet or dry during the rest of December? And the answer to that is, it's not going to be one set weather for the rest of December, is it? But we are expecting more wet weather for the next week or so. And then, as you alluded to, potentially a bit of a change in the run up to Christmas.
Yeah.
And that vague forecast for Christmas may give you an idea to the answer to your other question, Eddie Bowles, of what the weather will be like for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Unfortunately, it's a bit too early to give you a proper rundown of the day's forecast. We're still working on trends, aren't we?
Well, the supercomputer is currently running the snowometer. I set it going earlier, so we'll take a look at that in a moment and see what it's come up with today. Of course, that takes several hours to do its calculations and determine which way the needle is pointing. If you've watched the Weather Studio Live in the last couple of weeks, we've been showing this snowometer, and yeah, we've got an update today.
Yes, so I mean, Hannah99916 has just asked, will there be snow for Christmas? Yeah, I think a lot of people starting to think about Christmas less than 2 weeks away. But before then, we do have some pretty heavy rain to come this weekend. So it's worth watching the forecast for this weekend before you get too excited about any changes on the way for Christmas.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, just a slightly different question we've had in from weather fans Michael. We went through this question, you got it in just before we started, so we did manage to just double check the answer. The question was, when and what was the highest temperature recorded during this year? And I have to say, Aidan hit the nail on the head, didn't you?
Yeah, because
you just ping, you got the answer straight away.
I got it, a rare talent of mine, reeling off, really useful this talent, reeling off random weather stats. When asked.
Yeah, and what is the answer?
35.8 Celsius at Faversham in Kent. Actually, it's only because I looked it up a couple of days ago. I needed it for something else, but yeah.
Something's just sticking in your mind, didn't it? Yeah, that was on
Annie,
the 1st of July, that was. Yeah. So, yeah, certainly not been that warm recently, but it has been really mild this week.
Yeah, I mean, consistently so, hasn't it? And on Tuesday, the day that Storm Bram hit, temperatures in a number of locations hit their December record. So, for example, it was the highest temperature Edinburgh or any weather station in Edinburgh has recorded in the month of December. That reached 16 point something. That's a weather stat I can't reel off the top of my head. But
you might need that later on in the quiz.
Okay. Right. I'll look forward to that. One question I won't get right. Northern Ireland had its warmest December day since the year 2000 with a temperature of 16.2, I think it was, but not their all-time record. So exceptionally warm when Storm Bram hit, and since then it's not been quite as warm, but still temperatures have been consistently above average by day and by night. We're getting used to these kinds of temperatures in December. They should be, well, I say they should be, the average is around 8 Celsius, isn't it?
Yeah.
For maximum temperatures and low single figures for minimum temperatures.
Yeah, and it's got to be colder than that for any snow. So, and they're still getting questions in about snow for Christmas. That's why I'm bringing that up. And Mike 2022 has just said, why do newspapers say there is snow coming? Is it because they sell more newspapers? Well, yeah, we do have a bit of a battle with news headlines, don't we, of slightly inaccurate forecasts, and it's something we work quite hard on here at the Met Office with misinformation and disinformation. But yeah, I think there's lots of different reasons. That sometimes there's some truth in what they're saying. Sometimes, I mean, you at home will know you can look at weather maps and by yourself the weather charts, go to the far end of the GFS run, see some snow and take that for what's going to happen, but it is a lot more complicated than that. You can't just look 2 weeks ahead and take it for the truth, can you?
Yeah, some of those models are now showing outcomes for Christmas Day, but as I'll explain shortly, there are lots of different outcomes coming through for Christmas Day, so I wouldn't take one single outcome at the moment at this range as the guarantee for that day.
Yeah, and Hannah has just sent another question through. What's South Wales looking like this weekend and on the borders, as I'm looking for if there may be some flooding there. So yeah, we've had a lot of rain so far in December and the autumn so far as well, particularly across southwestern areas. That pattern is set to just shift a little bit, with the heaviest rain becoming a bit more focused across northwestern areas over the weekend. But we do have warnings out, don't we?
Yes. Should we take a look?
Yeah, let's have a look in more detail.
Here we go. So, I want to focus in particular during the next few minutes on northwestern parts of the UK through the next few days, because we're going to see a very particular atmospheric setup. Now, they are also, as it happens, experiencing a similar setup on the other side of the Atlantic, out towards the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia, and in that part of the world they call it an atmospheric river. And what that essentially means is that they've got this very concentrated stream of highly moist winds coming up typically from the southwest and dumping a lot of rain, a long rainfall duration event. And this is essentially what we're expecting through the next few days to happen in the UK. Now, Friday, fine day for most of us, a few showers here and there. Those showers continuing across northwest Scotland overnight. But then, if I take a look at the start of Saturday and zoom out a little bit, you can see the jet stream there, a very powerful jet stream moving across the Atlantic. And in this highly, zonal state, that's what we call it, when things are moving in from the west in an almost straight line. And you can see the isobars becoming more tightly packed across northwestern parts of the UK, these areas of low pressure pushing into Iceland. So the winds are going to be strengthening. Those winds bringing very mild, moist air. So this plume of higher temperatures, but also higher humidities, and pointing along the isobars, so pointing directly into northwestern parts of the UK. And it's one of those events where we don't see a weather front move in, cross the country and clear through. It becomes aligned with the isobars, aligned with the wind direction, which will be southwesterly. And that means that it's going to stick around. Once it sets in, Saturday afternoon, it's going to continue to pour down across parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland, northwest England, North and West Wales through the second half of Saturday, all of Sunday, and through to the start of Monday. And you can see here these weather fronts moving into Saturday, and then essentially we've got this plume of concentrated, mild, moist air pointing directly towards northwestern parts of the UK. These weather fronts doing something that we call waving. So we get the warm front moving through, cold front starts to edge south, then another warm front develops on it. That's the wave. So ripples along that line of rain, pushing heavier pulses of wet weather in from time to time as well. And because these strong southwesterly winds will be moving into higher parts of the UK, the hills of western Scotland, northwest England, North Wales and so on, it's those higher parts that are the greatest risk of seeing really significant rainfall accumulations, and in particular Cumbria. That's the location we've got the highest concern for. Of course, it's a resilient part of the country, so you need a lot of rain to cause significant impacts in Cumbria, but we are expecting a lot of rain through the next 3 days. Let's take a look at the rainfall forecast then, and if I remove that, let's get rid of the cloud as well so we can focus on the rain. We do have one weak band of rain clearing through Friday. That's out of the way then. It's a dry start for many of us this weekend. Some decent sunny spells aside from a few mist patches towards the south and the east. But here comes the rain. It sets in, becoming heavy and persistent across the north and west of Scotland, Northern Ireland as well, around lunchtime on Saturday. And then it essentially continues through Saturday. You can see the brighter colours coming and going. So we've got the rain pulsating. It's heavy on and off, and particularly over hills. You can see it's going to turn especially heavy on Saturday night into the start of Sunday. Western Scotland, Northern Ireland, northwest England, North and West Wales. That rain band edging a little bit further southeast, but essentially this whole zone of northwestern parts of the UK just seeing the persistent and very wet weather. Barely a drop of rain reaches parts of the Midlands, the east and southeast of England, and even the southwest. Parts of South Wales don't see any rain until early Monday. But we put some detail on the rainfall accumulations because we are expecting a substantial amount of rain to accumulate. And this graphic here shows the rolling rainfall accumulations. So it's starting off Friday lunchtime, already some rain across the country because of that weaker front moving through. But if I press play, and then you can see, I'll just move it over here, press play, then you can see those blues are becoming darker across western Scotland as the rain begins to build up. The brighter colours emerge where you see more than 100 millimetres of rain. Into Sunday, that starts to happen across higher parts of western and southwestern Scotland, northwest England, and eventually parts of North Wales as well, western parts of Northern Ireland. And look at the rainfall totals for the start of Monday. We've got fairly widely over higher parts of Western Scotland, northwest England, 100 millimetres or more. But this is the area of greatest concern. We've got the much darker colours here, the reds corresponding to 200 or more millimetres of rainfall in a fairly small part of Cumbria, but of course that's where the highest ground is over Cumbria. And that amount of rain, even for a resilient part of the UK, building up through the next few days could cause some significant impacts. We're talking about surface water flooding and we're talking about river flooding as well, so flooding to homes and businesses. There is that elevated risk, not just for Cumbria, Western Scotland as well, parts of Northern Ireland, North and West Wales, so those are other areas of concern because of the build-up of wet weather. This time, South Wales, Southwest England, which suffered, those areas suffered from rainfall earlier in the week because of Storm Bram, not as much rainfall. And you can see a dry weekend for some eastern and southeastern parts of England, so really significant contrasts. But what I would urge you to do, if you are in those areas affected by the heavy rain, is to stay up to date with the very latest weather warnings. And you can do that via the Met Office website and app. And of course, we'll keep you updated through the Met Office YouTube channel.
Yeah, a lot of very, very heavy rain, and we've had some questions in about whether we can expect any travel disruption from that. And where we do have warnings, then you can definitely expect some travel disruption as well as flooding as well. I think it's particularly around the Cumbria area where we could see river flooding, which could last a couple of days or so if it does occur. So definitely something to watch. Dave Walters has asked, he's heading to London this weekend from the Midlands, so will there be any travel disruption there? Well, you've just shown it's looking relatively dry.
It's, you know, such significant contrast this weekend.
Yeah.
If you're in London, it's essentially sunny all weekend. It's one of those remarkable weather situations in the UK. You can't sum it up for the whole of the UK this weekend because some places will get an absolute deluge and some places won't see a drop of rain. In fact, London, the southeast, mostly bright spells and above average temperatures, but staying dry.
Yeah.
Midlands, bit of rain by early next week, but again, mostly dry.
Yeah, it's one of those weekends to check the forecast to decide what you're going to get up to before just heading off, whatever, if you had something else planned, heading to the Lake District, for example. And actually talking about the contrast and how things can really vary across the country, Jeff Baker said Nottingham seems to miss a lot of the bad weather. Is that because of the protection from the Pennines? Interesting question.
Yes, a bit of that. Of course, Nottingham, being well inland, one of the more inland parts of the UK for an island nation, is protected from both coastal impacts of the weather. So winds are often much stronger around coastal areas. Often we name storms or we have weather warnings because of the wind gusts around coasts rather than the wind gusts inland. And a storm like Storm Bram will have significant differences in terms of the impacts across, say, Western Scotland, North Wales, compared with somewhere like Nottingham. So, yeah, sheltered from coastal impacts, sheltered for the kinds of impacts that you get over higher ground as well. And when it comes to things like rainfall, then it depends which way the wind direction is. So if it's more of a northwesterly, you might be sheltered from higher parts of northern England, the Peak District, for example. If it's more of a southwesterly, you might be sheltered from higher parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland. By the way, it's worth saying, eastern parts of Scotland, very significant differences compared with west because of the rain shadow. We will get some rain, but nowhere near as much as further west. Now, Manchester, staying dry throughout much of Saturday. It's going to turn windy, it's going to turn cloudy, but then the rain, if I play this on, there are some light showers around, some dribs and drabs of rain. Not much, though, for Manchester. It's piling into Cumbria there, it's piling into North Wales. Manchester, well sheltered. So not really
maybe
expecting
not till Monday.
significant rain. But yes, Sunday looks a little bit more damp with some on and off, mostly light outbreaks of rain.
I think we just lost connection to those watching us on YouTube very briefly, but I believe we're back. So sorry if you missed anything, but we've just been talking about the rain and what time it's moving in. So we've had a few more questions about further ahead and can we expect a drier and colder spell anytime soon?
Right, well, let's get into this because we're fairly confident that we're going to see more of the same kind of weather during the next 7 days, perhaps the next 10 days. But some subtle hints are starting to emerge now in the computer modelling, at least, of, don't want to go to that one yet, of a change potentially later on into the festive week. We've shown these graphics before in the Weather Studio Live, but essentially what we've got here is a summary of the most likely weather patterns for the next 2 weeks, and they're coloured up on the screen here, going out to the big day, 25th of December. It's now showing on our probability plots. That's very exciting. Now, the first thing you'll notice about this, when you look at each day going out to the next 2 weeks, is there's a change from blue colours to reds and oranges, and regular viewers will know that the blues tend to represent the kinds of weather patterns where low pressure is close to the UK, so more mixed, more unsettled weather. The reds and oranges and yellows tend to represent weather patterns where higher pressure is closer to the UK. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed dry or cold or whatever, but those chances do increase when you start to see these hues appearing on the probability plot. Now, at the moment, we've got this shade of light blue in our forecast for the next few days. High confidence that we've got low pressure near Iceland and this strong southwesterly airflow. This graphic here is showing the temperature anomaly compared with average, and so it's above average, a few degrees above average in this kind of weather pattern at this time of year. That's what that is basically suggesting. And then there's not much change over the next few days. The only change are subtle variations in where those lows are and how much the winds are westerly or southwesterly and so on. But this again showing above average temperatures for the start of next week, and 21st, 22nd, 23rd of December. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of the festive week. And these reds start emerging, but there are different flavours of reds. So just picking one there. And again, this is the rainfall anomaly map. And this, I think it's weather pattern 27, shows higher pressure to the north of the UK, drier than average. That's what the browns are suggesting, western parts of the UK. Another weather pattern here, high pressure, just in a different place. So these are all, again, variations on a theme. And what is highly uncertain is if high pressure starts to become more centred close to the UK, where that centre will be. Will it be to the north? Will it be to the east? Will it be directly over the UK? That's something that computer models are differing on, basically. But most of them are suggesting that the weather will become less unsettled. We'll see fewer lows. We'll see a greater chance of higher pressure near the UK. And so, all in all, and I think this is what many of us could just hope for, never mind White Christmas, it's a quieter Christmas. It's less unsettled, less wet and windy. That's what the modelling is suggesting at the moment. We're not saying it will be completely dry. I'm not saying it's going to be freezing cold with easterlies. We're not saying any of that. We're not even suggesting that it will turn wintry. But with the greater chance of high pressure close to the UK, there's a greater chance of colder nights, frost and fog, that sort of thing. So where does that leave our snowometer? At the moment, and we've run the supercomputer, it's gone through its very latest simulation, and I've checked with Dave, our Deputy Chief Meteorologist today, and it is currently... I thought I was going to stop on and get your sledge out then. A bit of a nervous moment. It's too early to say. Still, I'm afraid, 2 weeks ahead. Now, there are a few reasons for that. One is that even if higher pressure arrives and it turns a bit colder, we're talking about a chance of frost rather than snow, more likely. But also determining whether a flake of snow at this range will fall at one of our network stations on Christmas Day. It is too early to say. But fingers crossed, this time next week, Weather Studio Live will be able to give you a clearer answer one way or the other.
I'm sure we're all starting to get very excited for Christmas. Yeah, I think anything just a bit quieter, like you say, that's kind of what you're
dreaming
after.
of.
Yeah. A frosty Christmas, that's what I like.
That'd be nice.
Sunny, frosty. Yeah,
Hope so.
I'd be after that. Again, sorry to anyone watching on YouTube. I understand there's been some further glitches, but if you're watching on Facebook, everything's running smoothly, so that's good news. We have had, yes, we've gone over the Christmas forecast, and we've been talking about snow. And this weekend, we've got a special video going up that you've been heavily involved in, Aidan. About snow. Yeah,
we do. I go on a bit of a journey to discover how snowflakes form. And the answer is even more complicated than I first thought. I thought I knew how snowflakes form, but yeah, it's quite a complicated but fascinating explanation of how snowflakes end up with 6 sides, why they're unique. And I spoke to, it's very exciting, I spoke to a professor of physics in California who, Professor Kenneth Liebricht, who builds snowflakes in his lab. And he adjusts temperatures and humidities and watches how those snowflakes evolve depending on temperature and humidity. So yeah, that's coming out tomorrow. Don't miss it.
So much that I believe it's a 2-parter now, isn't it?
No.
No?
Oh, you're thinking of...
Am I wrong?
You're right. That video itself is... No, but there's another snow video coming soon. I know what you mean.
Say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always more to say.
Always, yeah. Thank you, that's been amazing. We also last week introduced our broadcast channel with some photos and asked you to send in your favourite photos from the week. We're actually going to show you them on the on the screen. We've got all of them to show you now. So we've got 1 to 4 of our favourites that I think are going to come up now. So our favourite was Ellen Astley. Yeah, beautiful sun rays on the beach there. I don't know whereabouts that was, but that must have been maybe, I think a lot of them were sent through on Monday last week, so it's possibly last weekend. Second one, a bit of an optical effect going on from Laurie Mack.
Nice.
Yeah, it's stunning that, isn't it? And this one just sums it all up, number 3, from Dr. I can't read that, but...
Dr. P.B. Richardson, I guess.
Dr. P.B. Richardson, that just sums up the weather we're seeing at the moment. And finally, we couldn't leave out Sharon Adele Powell and her lovely sheepdog there.
Ah, lovely.
Looking a little bit soggy.
Thank
you so much for your photos. We'll be doing the same thing again this week, but we're going to be putting the post out on Monday. So if you've no idea what we're talking about.
On Instagram, yeah.
On Instagram, it's on the broadcast channel on Instagram. You can find the link in our bio on Instagram, and we'll be putting out an ask for photos on Monday. So send your photos in from over the weekend, which would be great. It's actually this weekend the earliest sunsets and latest sunrises, over this weekend. So some of the over this weekend across the UK. So loads of opportunity for sunrise and sunset pictures. And across eastern areas, it's going to be relatively clear. We've also got the Geminoid meteor shower as well over this weekend. So if you're across the east, then perhaps you might spot it.
Lovely.
Right.
Got a quiz for me, haven't you?
I do, yeah. God, I almost forgot about that. We've got the quiz here. Are you ready?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I'm aiming to move up the leaderboard.
You are, yes. I'm at the top of the leaderboard, and as a result, I'm not playing this week because I need to give everyone else a chance. No, we've been playing with the format for the quiz over the past couple of weeks. We've introduced the leaderboard. We have the past couple of weeks played against each other, but this week we've decided just one person will play the quiz. I've written the questions. So thank you, George, for your questions for the past couple of weeks. They did go down very well, but I'm back on the question writing this week, and so let us know what you think of it. But yeah, should we get started?
Yeah.
Okay, right. We do have a paper. I think it's quite nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this, yeah.
Yes, I've got the
That's
questions.
cool. I just circle.
Yeah, just circle
my answers. This
exactly.
is good. This is good, yeah.
So, play along at home. Put your questions in our poll on the comments as well. We want to know what you think. So, question number 1. We've got a little bit about this week. So on Tuesday, Storm Bram battered Britain, but some also basked in record-breaking December heat. Edinburgh recorded their highest December temperature at Edinburgh since records began in 1939. But what was the temperature? Was it 16.2 Celsius, 16.5, 16.6 or 16.7? I didn't put much in there because I thought you might know it. So I didn't want to make
I was hoping you'd be 14, 15, 16, 17. I'd have a much better chance then.
Yeah.
Okay, it's between C and D for me. I know it's not A. I know it's not 16.2. That was the Northern Ireland one. I think it was higher than that. I think it's between... I know the way your mind works as well. You probably have it as the third one.
Why that obvious?
I'm gonna go with that. C.
Okay, let us know what you think at home. We've got a poll out there on the YouTube comments. So you've gone for C. Okay, 16.6.
We'll see.
We will see, indeed. On the poll, we've got 42% have gone for 16.6 as well.
Yes,
so I've gone with C,
that
and
encourages me.
Bit of a spread across the others. Okay, question number 2. Some parts of Cumbria and the northwest could see over 200 millimetres of rain falling in 48 hours over the weekend. But what is the highest 2-day rolling total of rainfall on record?
Oh, blimey. Yeah.
Is it A, 205 millimetres, B, 305, C, 405, or D, 505? It was recorded, I think it is, it's Cumbria, I think it's Thirlmere. I believe, because I think the 3 and 4 are in Seathwaite, but the 2 is in, which is also in Cumbria, it's in Thirlmere. Just to let you know, if that might help you remember. But right. Yes. What do you think? What do you think at home?
It's definitely not A, and I'm pretty sure it's not B, because the highest 24-hour total was, I think, about 300 something, I think, and that was only a few years ago.
Yes.
2022. So that was quite recent, but it was 300. I think it was 300 and something for the 24-hour. So we're talking 48 hours. So I'm going to go with C or D.
Yeah, the 24 hours, 279.
Right, okay. I'm going to go with C. C does sound, but what do you do? I'm thinking too much into your mind now. Is it a double C?
Are they all going to be C? I just need to look ahead.
I'm going with C for that one. Final answer.
Okay.
Because 505 just seems a bit too much for 2 days. You'd have to have 250 over 24 hours twice. Doesn't seem like... OK, let's go with 405.
OK.
What's everyone else gone for? 50% have gone with 405. Brilliant.
Yeah.
We're all agreeing with each other today.
Does that mean the quiz is easy? Maybe. OK, right. Now we're moving on to a festive theme for the rest of the quiz. So quite a simple question. When was the last white Christmas?
This is definitely C. Sorry. Give the options.
2021, 2022, 2023 or 2024. So for it to be a white Christmas, we need one snowflake to be observed falling in any site. Met Office site. So, did that happen last year?
Just real. I'm not supposed to say the answer immediately, am I?
You need to give everyone a chance at home. Yeah, not everyone is well tuned.
Ignore what I said. I might be wrong anyway. Did it happen last year? No, we were looking at this yesterday, right? And yeah, it's. I'm going with C. 2020. Hang on, last year was 24. Yeah, so the year before, 2020. So is it just C for all of them? Should I just do C for number 4 and 5 as well?
I can't answer that, I'm afraid.
Maybe the first two aren't C, but that one definitely is, I think.
OK, what does everyone think? Yeah, 57%, 2023. A few people going for 2024. I can't actually remember exactly what Christmas was like last year.
It was very mild. It was a bit like the weekend's weather, although not as wet. We had a very strong southwesterly, really mild. It then turned colder on Boxing Day and beyond that. But yeah.
Yeah. OK.
I don't remember what it was like on 2023, but I suspect that was just one of those where a sleety shower was recorded in Lerwick or something and has made it a technical white Christmas.
Okay, so it was a warm Christmas last Christmas, but the warmest Christmas day on record was in 1920. The maximum temperature was 15.6 degrees, but in which home nation was that? Was it England, Wales, Northern Ireland or Scotland?
Oh, it's tricky.
And to give you a click, I think at least 3 of the 4 home nations, their warmest Christmas day is at least 15 point something. So it's quite close cut.
It's close, okay. Well, I have no idea for this one. I would say that it's probably either England or Scotland because they're normally the ones that record higher temperatures.
Yes, because in England you often, if you've got, I mean in the summer you always get it in England often, but in Scotland they often get the Föhn effect, don't they? Which
in England it would be somewhere like Southampton where it's just a really mild day and it's the south and it's warm season stuff. But then in Scotland, it could be somewhere in Aberdeenshire because of the Föhn effect, so where the winds warm up and dry up over the higher ground. Normally, like the December month record is Scotland, so the highest temperature recorded in the UK is in Scotland. I'm going to go with Scotland simply because it just seems a little bit more likely that they'd record
You've done it now.
I don't know why you're laughing.
I'm not laughing. I'm just enjoying myself.
44% of people have gone with England.
24% Scotland. Well, you didn't go for C, though, Northern Ireland on that one.
Funny if it is.
OK, right, this is... I don't know if I've overcomplicated this question, but I'm going to read it out. So, question number 5. Kindrogan in Perthshire holds the record for the snowiest Christmas day and Boxing Day. They recorded 47 centimetres on Christmas Day and 45 centimetres on Boxing Day, respectively, both in 1981. So it's obviously the same snowfall. But on Boxing Day, 45 centimetres has also been recorded in Cae Poeth. Is that right? I think that's how you pronounce it, in Wales. But in what year was that? Was it also in 1981? Or was it B, 1995, another quite snowy Christmas, C, 2009, or D, 2010?
Most of them could be correct, but I don't think it's 2010 because I remember 2010, there was a lot of lying snow. So this is falling snow you're talking about, is it?
No,
or is it snow depth?
Snow depth, this is.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
right, could be 2010 then.
Snowiest Christmas, the definition in this quiz is the snow depth. Deepest snow depth.
I'm going to go with 2010 in that case. Right.
Okay. What does everyone think at home? How have you found the quiz? Let us know. So that's 5 questions. How many has Aidan got right? Now, I don't actually have the answers in this envelope, but I will have to look on my computer for them. But I kind of remember most of them, and all the answers are C.
Hey, everyone's agreed with me for that one. Well, I say everyone, 35% of you said 2010.
Yeah.
I'm not that confident about it, though. I'm not...
OK, well, let's find out. Should we find out the answers?
Yes, please.
OK, well, thank you for playing along. Please, would you like to mark your own?
OK.
Yeah, OK.
Is it 3 C's and 2 D's? I'm just wondering.
OK, no, question number 1. What was the warmest temperature recorded in Edinburgh from Stormbram on Tuesday? It was C, 16.6. Yes, well done. So that was on Tuesday. The previous record was 16.1, and that was in 1948. The highest temperature we saw was 16.8 in Carlisle, which was quite a niche record, but a new record for the 9th of December on Tuesday. So although it was very windy, it was very mild as well with Stormbram. Question number 2. Some parts of Cumbria and the northwest could see a lot of rain this weekend. The highest 48-hour or 2-day rolling total is 405.
Yes.
It's C. Yeah, well done.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it was also in Cumbria, the record in Thirlmere. So yeah, a lot of rain to come this weekend. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Right, over
50% of people got that right. Well done.
Yes, well done. I think I gave it a good range that it was quite clear. I thought maybe the answer, but anyway, hopefully it's nice to get them right. Question number 3, Christmassy questions. When was the last white Christmas? It was, in fact, C, 2023. 3 C's so far. I think everyone went with that on the poll as well. Everyone's doing well. Everyone's getting the answers right so far. The poll was 57% on C. Well done, everyone. Right, question number 4. The warmest Christmas day on record, 15.6 degrees in Killerton, Devon.
Oh,
yes.
Of course. I think I've heard that before.
Yes.
Killerton, just down the road from us here at the Met Office.
Yeah, that was... Did I have the year there?
Yeah, 1920.
1920. Yeah. It was very close. I think the warmest Christmas Eve is in Scotland, also 15.6.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
It's
what I was
pretty
thinking of.
yeah, it must have been what you're thinking of, exactly. So how many have you got so far?
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Okay.
Respectable.
Very good.
Oh, I only need...
How many
I need
points?
one more to equal you on the leaderboard.
Ooh. Okay, well, did you get it right? Question number 5 was, what year did Kai Poith record 45 centimetres of lying snow on Boxing Day? And that is D, 2010.
Woo!
You got it. Well done.
Fantastic. And well done if you got that right at home as well. If you got 4 out of 5 like me, or even better, 5 out of 5. But even more exciting, we are joint leaders on the leaderboard.
2 plays.
Even the Alexes, they're going to regret taking today off, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Maybe we don't need to see how many times we've played. I think we can...
It's irrelevant.
Yeah, it is irrelevant. It's just the number of
cover up
points
the
that
0
count.
for Alex D.
So we'll be updating the leaderboard for next week. Me and Aidan are level pegging on 2 plays and 6 points. We are going to make sure everyone plays evenly, though, and we'll see who wins after, we haven't decided how long, but after at what point we've all done an equal number of plays. Well done to everyone that got 5 out of 5. Chizando LFC, of course, 5 out of 5. You always do very well. Lots of 4 out of 5s. Narrow band of narrow boat. 2 out of 5. They were difficult this week. Oh, okay. Did you find it difficult?
I didn't this week. It's my kind of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of them I kind of worked them out, you know, because that 405 millimetres in Cumbria kind of sounded the most plausible.
Yeah.
I didn't know it off the top of my head. But yeah, it was a nice quiz.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for playing at home. I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for joining us this week. Also, a big thank you to the rest of our team that have come in after our Christmas party, to Greg and Rich and Victoria and Rosie as well, everyone working behind the scenes. I hope you've enjoyed this week. As we mentioned earlier, there is some potentially quite disruptive weather on the way this weekend, so please stay tuned to the forecast this weekend. Check out the warnings as well. Big contrast in the weather to come. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a brilliant weekend, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye-bye.